All right, let's touch on accessibility in system preferences in Mavericks. Go ahead and open up accessibility. This might look different depending on what type of version you were used to before. Operating system. Okay, let's start with the display. First notice these different categories in the side panel, so you can kind of scroll through them. This is just set up a little bit differently. And so in the display you can invert, you'll see kids do this a lot. That's where they got it from, invert the colors, use a grayscale. That's good for if you have any students who are colorblind. The enhance contrasting the cursor size. Now, you might think this is really annoying when students have those large cursors, but I like to actually use them when I present. So maybe when you're showing a student something, you might want to increase, like particularly in iMovie, you might want to increase the size of your cursor to help point to them where they should be clicking. So I'll leave it like medium for now. Okay, zoom. If you select this, use scroll gestures with modifier keys to zoom, and then we hit control. When I'm holding down control right now and taking my 2 fingers to go in. And then the same thing, now I'm taking my 2 fingers and zooming out. That's good. Let's say, again, if you're in your eChalk website and you want to zoom in on something closely. I have it set up so I can hold control and zoom in. Again, you could always play with this, more options. Anything else? Good in there. Okay, voiceover. If you have a student who is blind or know anybody who's blind or have difficulty seeing, I strongly encourage you to explore the voiceover. It goes through a step-by-step tutorial. I'm going to open it for 1 second.
Welcome to VoiceOver. VoiceOver speaks descriptions of items on the screen and can be used to control the computer using only your keyboard. If you already know how to use VoiceOver, press the V key now. If you want to learn how to use VoiceOver, press the space bar now.
I'm going to press cancel. This might even be a good idea for perhaps you're doing a study on Helen Keller. Maybe just to give the experience of what it would be like, but it really talks you through arrow over voice, the 2 keys and all that. So I would recommend, either right now or when you have some free time, right? Play around with the voiceover. Okay, explore the hearing. Students who are maybe are hard of hearing, I know there is one particular student I'm thinking of in the DLP classroom, but you can actually have this flash the screen when an alert sound occurs, or play stereo audio as mono. You can test it out right here. So that's what it would look like if you were to have a pop-up on something. Captions. Some videos like in YouTube have captions. You can decide how you want those captions to look. I actually like the larger text. Keyboard, this is kind of enabling sticky keys and doing some different shortcuts with the keyboard. If any of you are used to using your iPhone and you do the text, you can add one on my way, OMW. If you just type those 3 letters, it will spell out the words on my way. So you can create text shortcuts here, so that's good to know. Screenshots, Command-Shift-4, we all know that, how to take a screenshot of something selected, but if you actually hold Command-Shift-4 and then hold down the Option key, it will, right here, it will allow you to copy and paste that screenshot into something else so that you don't end up with a desktop full of like 20 screenshots. Okay, so that's a little bit about the keyboard. I'm gonna go back. Mouse and trackpad. We explored some of these trackpad options. Switch control, this is new. If you teach special ed students, I would recommend looking more into this area right here. A severely disabled student, or maybe you know somebody who is severely disabled in terms of movements with their hands. Speakable items, we're going to dive this into more in dictation. So that's a little bit about accessibility. If you have a student who would be constantly kind of going in and out of these settings, you should tap right here, show accessibility status in the menu bar. And now it comes right up here with the circle with the person inside it. That's the sign for accessibility. And that's a little bit of accessibility. Finally, I want to add that please allow your students to explore this area, or maybe sit down if you're in a co-taught classroom and explore some of these functions with a child. We are in a one-to-one environment for a reason, and that is to individualize the device. The main difference between a MacBook or an iPad and another company is the system preference, particularly the accessibility features. So if a student does better with the grayscale because they're colorblind, we need to let the student choose that as an option. All right, that's all on accessibility.